First of all, do you always dress up and look great, even if you're working from home? Please tell me you're not wearing pants or you have slippers on or something.
Wait, should I pull up my shoe?
Yeah. Okay.
Here, there we go. No stockings and sneakers. That's as far as I go. I look good from the waist up.
Do you have tips for people at home as far as a professional thing, as far as to get up, to shower, to get ready, that it helps you be more professional and more productive?
Yes, I've been telling that to my husband every day. He hasn't listened to a word I said, so that's not working. But if anybody wants to listen for myself, I find if I just get dressed for work, and that doesn't have to be fancy, but just dressed, it makes a big difference in my attitude right from the get-go. Yeah, it helps me work better.
How is it working at home with your husband? How is this? They say it either is a baby or a breakup with these times going on right now.
Well, I've been married to my husband for 37 years, and I'm surprised we're still together. That this hasn't broken us up. Nothing will. I hardly see him. He comes for dinner.
Yeah, do you keep your distance? Do you have your different workspaces, or what's the key for y'all?
Yeah, well, for me, I do have an office right next to my apartment, right next door, but I'm going to bring it into one of the spare rooms, just to even make it one step easier, yes.
Of all the sharks you work with, Barbara, who would you like to be quarantined with if you had to pick one?
That's an interesting, juicy question. I would have to say Mark, because even if he wasn't as cracked up as I think he would be to live with, I would fall back on all those billions he have and probably love him the most of all.
That's so cute. All right. Well, we love your podcast. You answer some great questions, and people have a lot today. Let's start financially. Is it a good time to buy real estate right now with mortgage rates really down?
Well, of course, whenever money's cheap, it's a great time to buy real estate because they always operate opposite each other because prices go up when money is cheap. But right now, it comes more down to what your appetite for risk is. Most people are not in the market right now, and that's across all boards because they're afraid. They're afraid of what might happen. I think a lot of that fear is unfounded myself for a variety of reasons, but particularly if you're in the high end and you're looking to buy some luxury property, now's a very good time to buy because luxury property is not selling. Prices haven't fallen, but sellers are very fungible, and right now they're concerned about selling at all, and so it's a great time to make a low bid.
What about just for the average American out there that maybe is looking for their first house or to purchase something or to get their first home? Good or bad time?
Well, they'll have a lot of competition. You know, what's surprising to me is I've looked at all the markets around the U.S., and there's a real lopsidedness in the market. The more expensive the market, the worse it is. So the cheaper the market, the more vital it is. For example, right now, if you go to Louisville, you can buy an average home for about $170,000. Louisville's market has never been hotter. They've had more sales. They've had 875 sales in March, record-breaking sales. Dallas-Fort Worth, where the average home is around 275-ish, they are having record sales. But go to a place like New York City, for example, and the number of homes that we sold 3 weeks ago, I think were 37. 2 weeks ago it was about 8, and this week it's 2. A little different picture, but it's a more premium, high-priced area. And so it depends on which end of the market you are as to whether you're going to get a lot of competition or whether you're going to get a great deal. And you always get your best deals where there are a few buyers and many more homes to be sold. So I hope you're rich and you're going to go out and buy something really expensive because you'll get a good deal right now.
I like your thinking on that, Barbara. Unfortunately, no, but I like what about this from viewers have been saying? I've been laid off and I can't make my rent. What do I do?
Well, hopefully the stimulus package, which has been announced and approved, is going to clean all that up for at least 3 months for all these folks at home worried, as well as the small business owners who can't pay their commercial rent. But there's a big difference between theory on what's been approved and getting the cash in your hand, and nobody has any cash yet. And people are talking about there being delays. Tomorrow is April 1st, and for most people, that's like D-Day. They have to pay their rent, they have to pay their landlord, or they have to pay their mortgage company. And for those folks who really don't have any money, it's a pretty easy decision. You just can't pay. For those people who think they'll run out of money soon, the smartest thing to do is to call that landlord as soon as you can and say, I'm going to have a problem. Not so that you could weasel out of paying, but simply so that you could suggest a reasonable solution to your problem. What might work for you? Can you waylay your rent? Can you reduce your rent and pay it later? Getting in touch with that landlord or mortgage company or credit card for that matter is very smart business, because they don't want to have to call you. You're better off calling them first. Yeah.
Here's a fun one from one of your viewers. I'm
Fun.
working at
Thank
home.
God, something fun. Whoa.
I'm sorry, but I love all your money stuff. This is a real thing. I have people that are losing their jobs. They don't know what to do with their mortgage or their rent, and you offer such good advice with all of this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, this one from a woman at home. I'm working at home with my husband, but all he wants to do is get frisky. What do I do?
Oh, you have move on to the couch. Number one, physically, you remove yourself from the threat right away. And now would be a chance to make a long list of what you don't like about that husband and ask him to change for you if he wants to see any action. That's what I would do. I would seize the moment and take advantage.
Barbara, here's one. What are you looking for future investments on Shark Tank? What is something that really grabs your attention? Is it in the like athletic field, or, something to do at home, workout equipment? What is it?
I don't really care what the business is of the individual who's pitching on Shark Tank. What I'm shopping for is the entrepreneur. And the reason I say that is because I've been investing on Shark Tank for 11 years. And every time I was swayed by the entrepreneur and thought that they were capable and would be very good at coming through bad times and they're fast on their feet, all the attributes of good entrepreneurs, I've made money on every one of those deals. Every time I invested in the business concept, oh, that's cool, that's a neat product, and they didn't have a phenomenal entrepreneur, I've lost my money. So I try to turn a deaf ear, honestly, to the business itself. But I'm hyper attentive to the entrepreneur, trying to size them up and get myself a great partner.
What do you say to somebody out there who's got this idea and they want to come pitch to you? What should they be doing?
Well, they should be going on Shark Tank to pitch, of course, because that gives them a wonderful platform. They're going to have tremendous sales on Shark Tank night when it airs. So right away, you're ahead of the game. But I would say you should do what every smart entrepreneur I've invested in to date has done, is to watch every episode of Shark Tank, write a list of every question any shark has ever asked, and then role play with someone who doesn't like you so that they're not going to buy in so fast, and just answer every one of those questions. Every time I had a phenomenal entrepreneur, after I closed the deal, they told me they did that. It's called over preparation. And the great winners in life over prepare for everything. They don't take anything for granted.
Has there been anybody that got away that you wish you'd invested in? Is there one that really sticks out in your mind?
Sure, there have been so many businesses that have gotten away that I've been overbid, or they just like the other shark better. I don't understand why, but that's their charge, right? But I have to tell you, the door opens so fast, and we see so many businesses on Shark Tank. The minute they're out of the set, we're like, next, who's coming through the door? I forget about them right away.
Barbara, at home during this time, are you binging anything fun? What are you doing to keep busy?
Yes, I'm putting on weight like most of America. I'm a thin woman, and everybody always says, have you lost weight because I'm way too thin? I haven't heard that comment for almost 3 weeks, mostly because I haven't seen many people. But I'm telling you, I'm not zipping up my dresses quite as fast.
Are you cooking? Are you a cook?
Yes, I'm a very good cook, but I have more time for cooking. And so I put a little bit extra butter in the sauce that I made last night on my chicken and wine sauce. I'm like just having a few snacks between meals, it all adds up. But let me tell you, I feel entitled. After all, these are special times, and I should be allowed to put on a little weight.
Are you doing anything different that you used to not do, as far as, are you reading more or taking up any new hobbies?
Surprisingly, I'm working more than ever. If one more friend calls me or texts me and says, so what did you do today, with that happy-go-lucky attitude, I think I'm going to scream, because I've been working so hard because of 888 Barbara podcasts. I've been getting 250 calls a day, and I try to answer as many as I can, because people out there are really hurting. They really need help, and they need practical advice. And so if I'm not giving the practical advice one-on-one or through my podcast or on the air, I'm reading everything I possibly can so that I am fully versed on every support and help that might be out there. And that takes a lot of time. I think when I get through this whole thing, I'm going to be the only one that's going to go off on vacation versus back to work. Truly.
Right? It's kind of, we need you now more than ever. All right. Well, we talked about which shark you'd like to be quarantined with. Which shark could you absolutely not be stuck with?
Sorry to interrupt you. I know right away. Robert, he would drive me absolutely nuts. He never shuts up. And I would just have to, I would become an alcoholic within the day, without a doubt in my mind.
Are you drinking more now at home? That's been a big thing. Everybody's doing these group drinking chats and everything and Zooming.
Yes. You know, I hosted a Zoom cocktail party 2 nights ago, Sunday night, I guess it was. And 7 or 8 friends joined the party. And they found it laughable when I made the confession that I thought I was turning into an alcoholic, because I had noted that I had opened another bottle of white wine in 2 days. And usually a white wine bottle lasts me for a week. I'm the only drinker in my house. They laughed me silly. They said, that's not an alcoholic.